Now, this is the interesting part right here. The PCA states that the unalivings happened between 4 and 4:25, but we have suspect vehicle 1 leaving at a high rate of speed at 4:20. That's a little bit difficult for me because you see at 4:17 was a thud. He had to have, that suspect vehicle 1 would have had to have made it out of the house, into the car, and at a high rate of speed in 3 minutes to that gas station, which is a 5 to 6 minute drive. So it is a tight timeline, you guys. And today I'm continuing my podcast where I cover the Idaho4 case, otherwise known as the case against Brian Kohberger. So I'm really glad you're joining me. I've been working really hard on this video. I have created a linear timeline of every official timestamp we have in this case, something that was stated officially on the record. It's a combination of what was going on in Moscow, Idaho, and Pullman, Washington. But we're going to go over all of this, and this is where I'm going to turn. So I'm just going to go over everything I have with you, and I love to have your input, and let's get right into it. Okay, so this is the timeline that I have created. I'm just going to go over all of this with you. All of this is official sources. So these are things that are officially on the record. If there's something I've missed, please let me know, because I understand that it doesn't have a full 24 hours on here. It begins at 9 p.m. on the 12th, and the timeline ends at 4 p.m. on the 13th. So let's get right into it. So 9 p.m., Chapin and Kernodle arrive at the Sigma Chi house. Now, BF is present. We don't know what time she was there, but it was somewhere between 9 and 2. 10 p.m., Gonzalez and Mogan arrive at the Corner Club. 11:45, a drunk sorority girl is involved in a hit and run in Pullman. And 11:45 a.m., law enforcement is called to a frat party in Pullman. So this is a combination of what's going on in Moscow and in Pullman. Now, the rest of the timeline proceeds to the 13th. 12 a.m., Kernodle has a phone call with her father. 12:36 p.m., the 8458 number utilizes cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate's Cup of Joe. 12:46 p.m., 458 number utilizes cellular data in the area of Albertson's grocery store. 12:49 p.m., interior surveillance cameras observed Kohberger walking through the store. Around 1:30, Gonzalez and Mogan leave the Corner Club and then arrive at the grub truck, which is about a 5-minute drive. 1:45 a.m., Chapin and Kernodle leave the Sigma Chi house. 1:56 a.m., a private party brings Mogan and Gonzalez home. 2 a.m., BF and DM arrive home. 2:12, the Banfield runners. And I'm not exactly sure what time the police were called, but I do feel that right here in the timeline, the 2 a.m. to like the 3:05 or the 4 a.m., there's a lot we can actually add that's on the official record. So I'd love your help with timestamps in updating this part of the time frame. Please drop it in the comments. So 2:26 to 2:44, Kaylee called JD 10 times, unanswered. 2:42 a.m., the 8458 phone number was utilizing cellular services consistent with Kohberger's home. At 2:44 a.m., similar car to suspect vehicle 1 is seen in Pullman. 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone number utilizes cellular resources to provide coverage southeast of the Kohberger residence. 2:47 a.m., the 8458 phone stops reporting to the network. 2:53 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 is spotted southeast on Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way. 2:56 a.m., Kaylee's phone goes offline. 3:26 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 is spotted on Indian Hills Road. 3:28 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 west on Snyder Ave. Between 3:29 and 4:20 a.m., there were multiple sightings stated in the PCA of this suspect vehicle 1 in the King Road neighborhood, including passes by the 1122 King Road home 3 times, exiting via Wolenta Drive. 3:56 a.m., a white car is seen on CCTV footage at a gas station. 4 a.m., everyone is in their respected bedrooms. This is at the crime scene. Between 4 a.m. and 4:12 a.m., Xana receives a DoorDash order. At 4:04 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 is east on King Road attempting to park and turn, then continues to Queen Road where it does a 3-point turn and continues, or attempts a 3-point turn and continues east down Queen Road. Between 4 a.m. and 4:12 a.m., DM awakes to the sound resembling a dog playing on the 3rd floor. Between 4 a.m. and 4:12 a.m., shortly after, Gonzalez or Kernodle said something along the lines of, "There's someone here," after which DM looks out her door. So in the PCA, it says Dylan thinks it's Gonzalez, but the police think it's Kernodle. At 4:12 a.m., Xana is awake and using TikTok. Between 4:12 and 4:17 a.m. approximately, DM opens her door a second time when she hears possibly crying coming from Xana's room. She hears a male voice say something like, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." At 4:17 a.m., security camera at 1112 King Road, 50 feet northwest of the 1122 King Road home, picks up barking, voices, whimpering, and loud thud. Between 4:17 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., DM looks out the door a third time due to crying. She then saw a figure dressed in black clothing and a mask. He walked towards her, then by her door. 5'10" or taller, unknown male, not muscular, athletically built, bushy eyebrows. Between 4:17 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., after the phase of shock, DM closed and locked her door. At 4:20 a.m., the suspect vehicle 1 is seen leaving the King Road neighborhood at a high rate of speed. At 4:25 a.m., approximately, the PCA suggests the unalivings happened and the unaliver has left the residence. Now, this is the interesting part right here. The PCA states that the unalivings happened between 4 and 4:25, but we have suspect vehicle 1 leaving at a high rate of speed at 4:20. That's a little bit difficult for me because you see at 4:17 was a thud. That suspect vehicle 1 would have had to have made it out of the house, into the car, and at a high rate of speed in 3 minutes to that gas station, which is a 5 to 6 minute drive. So it is a tight timeline, you guys, when you see it like this, all laid out like in a linear fashion. All right. So at 4:48 a.m., the 8458 number regains and utilizes cellular resources that provide coverage to ID State 95 south of Moscow. 4:50 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling south on Idaho State Highway 95 towards Genesee, Idaho. At 5:25 a.m., possible suspect vehicle 1 observed on 5 cameras in Pullman and on the WSU campus. At 5:26 a.m., the phone utilizes cellular resources consistent with the 8458 phone number traveling south on Idaho State 95 to Genesee. At 5:27 a.m., possibly suspect vehicle 1 was observed on a camera, and I don't know why I put that in quotes. I don't think it states. Stadium Way and Nevada Street, Stadium Way on Grimes Way, Stadium Drive, Wilson Road, Stadium Way, and Cougar Way. Between 5:27, the 8458 phone number travel is consistent with Stadium Drive. At 5:30 a.m., the 8458 phone utilizes resources that provide coverage to Pullman, Washington. At 9 a.m., the 8458 phone number utilizes cellular resources consistent traveling to Moscow, Idaho. At 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m., the 8458 phone next utilizes cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 number traveling back to the area of Kohlberger's residence. At 9:32 a.m., the 8458 number utilizes resources consistent with driving to Kohlberger's home. And the last thing I have on here is at 4 p.m., Sergeant Blaker reports to the 1122 King Road home. So there is something missing on this. There was a 911 call. Okay, so there are a couple things I left off this timeline. I need to add the 911 call. The other thing I would like to add is what time the coroner officially arrived and what time the different first responders arrived. But I don't want to add it to the timeline till I can see it officially listed somewhere. My takeaway from this project in putting this whole timeline into like a linear fashion, it's really showed me how tight the timeline is. Now, I think that can play in favor of the police. It can show that they know kind of exactly what's going on, or it can play in the favor of Brian. because you have Ray coming in. Because this timeline is so tight, it's going to be really interesting. First off, it makes the prosecution look like they know exactly what's going on. But then you bring someone in like Ray, who's going to verify all this information, and they get one thing wrong on that timeline, and they throw off this timeline, and who knows? But I just want to hear your opinions below. So thank you for joining me today. And if you've made it this far, just really appreciate your time listening to what I had to say. If you did gain value from this content, I'd love if you considered subscribing. I put out content daily, and I put out videos like this daily, and I'd love to have you part of my community. And if you hear that noise going off, that's my Discord server. So if you do like true crime, or if you want to just chat with me sometime, I'll put an invite to my Discord server below, just in case you want to be part of that community too. And it's free. So other than that, I hope you have a great day. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend.